Hi, I am Piyush and I'm the founder of Visual Thinking School Netherlands, which teaches businesses to convert their presentations into visual stories. And today I'll be teaching you how you can convert your project plans or your project kickoff plans into a visual story using a metaphor of a rocket launch. Why a rocket launch? Because today India is landing its rocket on the moon, Chandrayaan 3. And I thought it'll be a fabulous idea to show you how you can use a rocket launch metaphor to draw or to make your project kickoff. We will learn to draw it on a flip chart like this, or you can also use it in your PowerPoints directly digitally. I'll teach you both the ways. So are you ready? Let's get started. So I have picked up a typical project kickoff slide from internet, and this is what it looks like. And you must have seen this slide a lot of times, how a project kickoff looks like. Now, what if we can draw this project kickoff in something like this in terms of a rocket launch? Let me show you how it is done. Now, let's understand the process. So a typical project kickoff has these parameters. So it has a project purpose, goals and objectives, team members, project risks, project scope, deliverables, stakeholders, project assumptions, and all these points, right? Of course, your project kickoff can have your own pointers as well. Now, this is how you must be making your presentations right now. And this is already called as visuals. Now, what I do is I teach people how to add emotions to it and storytelling to this, because this is the future. We all tend to feel bored and sleepy when we see this kind of flowcharts. Why flowcharts are boring and sleepy? Because these are unnatural boxes. This is nothing which happens in the real world, right? There is nothing which looks like this in the real world. This is a mathematical symbolism which is pushed on us to learn. Can we change this into a real world scenario? And let's see if I can include all these terms, all these parameters into a metaphor as well. For this, you might be knowing the formula is you have to think of a bigger metaphor and then we will think of the smaller metaphors in between. So what could be a bigger metaphor? As I already told you, we'll be using the metaphor of a rocket launch. And let me show you if I can convert this project kickoff in a rocket metaphor. Let's do it. So how to do this? This is your visual storytelling version. So let's see. I'm going on a slideshow so it's easier for you to see. Now, this is your usual presentations on project kickoff, which has a project purpose, goals, objectives, team members, project risks, and all those things. I have thought of a rocket being shot to moon. Now, what happens in a storytelling? When there is a storytelling version, you automatically build the story. So there is a rocket launch. Now see what I have done here. So the rocket is basically a project plan, because that's the main metaphor, that's the main object here, a project plan. Now a rocket has people sitting in it. I have taken the creative liberty to make people sit on the rocket. Of course, it's not physically possible, but then this is the creative liberty you can take in your storytelling. These are your team members. Again, as you can see, team members was an important parameter here. Then the people here are carrying flags, and this could be your project purpose. How will you how will you use this in your presentations? I'll share with you later when I go back to my digital presentations in Canva, and I'll show you how you can word this. But right now, just understand the whole process. So the flag will be project purpose. Now a project always has a deadline. I have made a alarm clock kind of a thing to show deadline. Of course, there is no alarm clock in a rocket launch, but I've just put it here because it fits well. A deadline is always required and I made an alarm clock here. Now, when a rocket is launched, there are stakeholders in that IT room, right? Who are controlling the rocket and all. They are the stakeholders. And they can be metaphorized as stakeholders of your project kickoff or of your project. Then the goal. What is the goal in a rocket story? Of course, landing on moon. So moon we can draw, and that's the goal of this project. In the project, you will also have risks. How will you show risk in a rocket story? The risk is, of course, for a rocket, the risk is meteorites. And that's how you draw a meteorite, and this becomes your project risk. A project also has a project scope, And what is the scope for this rocket? The scope for this rocket is the orbit around the moon, and that's the project scope. Here you can see how we are using this rocket in terms of as a metaphor, as a bigger metaphor for this project kickoff. And that's what you can use as well. Let me also show you how you can draw this live in front of your audience when you're using a flip chart in your meetings, or maybe you're presenting something, or also how you can use it digitally. Let me first show you how you can use it digitally. Okay, so to create this presentation digitally, I have shared a link in the description where you can find this free Canva template. We have developed this Canva template, and this is where you can edit this template. Now see here, all the elements are movable. They are all distinct and movable, and you can use them as you wish to, and that's why this template might be very useful for you. Now let's see how you can develop a PowerPoint around it. Now deadline is a deadline. What you can do is, maybe you want to delete this, you can remove this, or you can also put extra text over it. So maybe this is your let's say a quarter one, or let's say this is your quarter three plan. So this is your quarter three, or maybe your deadline is, let's say, October end. This is your October end deadline. Okay, and I'm reducing the font size here. So this becomes your October end deadline, and because these are all, maybe I want to make it as red so that we understand that this is our deadline. Okay, so that's the content. The deadline is the metaphor, but this is my content. Now this could be my stakeholders. Let's say I have more than one stakeholder. What I can do is I can copy these. So this could be your stakeholders. Maybe for your project plan there are many stakeholders, and now you can again write their names. So maybe in your project the stakeholder is finance, the finance department, or maybe your stakeholder is also your marketing department. This is how you fill you add content to your slides. Now the project plan, of course this is your project plan. The name of the project could be, let's say, launch ABC product. maybe that's your maybe that's your project plan, right? Launching ABC project plan. Project purpose, similarly you have a project purpose. So maybe this is something, maybe this could be to utilize um, October vacations, something. Maybe you have a product which needs to be, which has a great selling point in October, and maybe you want to utilize this. Now, there could be a project risk as well. The project risk could be, so many risks could be there. Maybe competitor might launch it before you. So, competitor launch. Okay, there could be one more risk. So what you can do, just copy this, and now this becomes yours. I mean your another project risk. And now similarly this could be your goals and objective. Maybe you want to make, let's say, 10% profit or 15% profit, and this is the scope of your presentation as well, or your scope of your project as well. Now, if you have more pointers, let's say if you have more pointers in your project kickoff, try to think of all the other metaphors as well, which you can add in this story. It all depends on what kind of pointers you have to present in your PowerPoint, and that can help you to add more metaphors. Like we have added project risks for as meteorite. Maybe if you want to add that if there is a risk, someone will help you. So that is a pointer of your project kickoff. Then probably here you can add our NASA stations, or those space stations which will come to help your rocket. So that's a metaphor which you can use for in the space journey kind of scenario, which is here. Now, how can you edit this? When you go on the link which is in the description, you will be able to find this um, this Canva template, and here I have made a special video on how you can use a Canva template, because this will be in view only format and you have to make a copy to make it yours and you can use it in your Canva. So that's how you use things digitally and convert your PowerPoint or convert your project kickoff in this format. Of course, it is not only project kickoff. You can use this scenario in any other. Maybe you have to show agenda of a training, or maybe you have to show some other scenarios. You can still use these discrete elements to make your own stories as well, right? Maybe you want to make two moons, or maybe you want to make more more orbits. You are free to use it. Now let me show you how to draw these when you are using it live on a canvas, or let's say on a flip chart. How you can use it live. This means that when your audience is in front of you, you are explaining them live without a PowerPoint, which is a very, very solid way of giving trainings because it has a lot of engagements, which means you will be starting your presentation something like, hey guys, today I'll be showing you what's our project kickoff, and our project kickoff will have a story of a rocket launch. And that's where you will draw the rocket first, and then you will proceed with, okay, our project will have a team member, and then we have stakeholders, and then we have meteorites, and all those story elements will come in and you can draw. Let me show you how to draw this live. So let's start. I'm using the Canva canvas itself because it has a drawing function. You can go to apps and click on search draw, and here you can use it. I'm using a drawing laptop as well, so it's easy for me to show you on the screen, or else you can use this in your flip charts as well. The technique is the same. Of course, you will be using, if you are using a big flip chart, you will be using a sketch pen or a marker like this, which is called a chisel marker, right? Now, let me show you how to draw. Let's start with the rocket because our rocket is the main object here. How to draw a quick rocket? A rocket is nothing but a line. If you know my kind of drawings, these are all very basic geometrical lines. A rocket is drawn like this, and then a rocket has three propulsions, right? And a rocket also has something like this, and you can complete it here. And of course our rocket will have the smoke coming out as well. Now the rocket also had our team member sitting on it. So how you can draw a team member? Your team member is drawn by drawing a half oval, and now there is a hand here coming, and there is a leg also because he is sitting. Similarly, there is another person who is sitting, and here you can draw something like this. He's sitting like this, and he has his face. Now, how to draw a flag? On one hand, they have a flag like this, right? So this was your project purpose. This was your project purpose. What else was there in the story? Do you remember? There was a goal. How can you draw a goal? You can draw a goal by drawing moon. A moon is nothing but a round object, and a moon also has these kind of holes on it. As soon as you draw these kind of holes on a moon surface, it becomes a moon. Then the project had a project scope. So project scope is nothing but an orbit, and here you can draw an orbit, and on the orbit also you can draw a small rocket. So if you draw a small rocket again, this will be something like this. Right? So this is your project scope. You can go back to the drawing here and see what we are drawing here, almost like this, right? And now the project also has project risks, which was drawn in the form of a meteorite. A meteorite is nothing but small stone. I mean, small as in our drawing, they are small stones, but they are big stones in reality. And now the meteorite falls like this. And when the meteorite falls, this is how it makes a tail. So this could be your meteorite. What else was there? Stakeholders, deadline was there. So deadline you can draw by drawing a alarm clock or something like that. So an alarm clock is drawn by drawing a circle, and then you have these something like this, and then you have the minutes, and then the hand. and this becomes your deadline. Stakeholders. So there were many stakeholders. Stakeholders are drawn by people who are standing and now they are cheering for you. Similarly, there could be more stakeholders who are standing here, yeah, and they are cheering for you. We can use a little bit of color. I always encourage you to use less colors, especially if you are drawing it live. So I'm using, let's say, this and maybe this one. And now I'm reducing its number. So now I'll just give a shadow like this. So here's the shadow. I'm going to increase a little more. Shadow our rocket will have, I want to increase a bit more. So our rocket has a shadow, the moon has a shadow, maybe shadow here as well, and these people have shadows. I won't use these big shadow lines. Yeah, how to make shadows and all, you have to watch my other videos for this. And this could be your flag. Even the meteorite can be. So this is how you draw it live, and this is how you draw it on a graphical way or on a digital way by using my Canva template. How to use this Canva template? You can go on the link in the description. This will take you to the LinkedIn post, and on the LinkedIn post you have the link to download this Canva template. I hope you liked it. This is the way we do visual storytelling for your business concepts. My special request to you all would be to use this template in your business cases for the next 1 month, and also hashtag Chandrayaan so people know that India has launched a rocket on the moon. I'll see you in the next video. Have a nice day. Bye.